Most men will die without ever understanding what attraction actually responds to. They'll buy the flowers, send the long texts, try to be good, try to be safe, and still end up confused, broken, alone, because they were taught to win with behavior that screams one thing: "I'm afraid you'll leave." And the second a woman feels that, the game is already over. 500 years ago, in exile, stripped of everything, a Florentine strategist wrote truths so sharp that people tried to bury them. Niccolò Machiavelli, not a dating coach, a surgeon of power. He didn't study romance. He studied patterns. What loyalty follows, what respect follows, what desire follows, and the pattern is brutal. People don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you represent. If you're not ready for that, leave now, because after this, you won't be able to unsee it. And before we go further, one boundary: this is not hate women. This is not disrespect women. This is not excuses for weakness. This is about the rules your instincts already know, but your mouth refuses to admit. Now listen. Chapter 1. The nice man isn't kind. He's scared. Here's the first truth. Being nice is not a strategy. It's surrender dressed as virtue. Kindness is powerful when it's a choice, but most men aren't kind by choice. They're nice because they're terrified. Terrified of conflict, terrified of rejection, terrified of showing a backbone and watching her walk. So they smile when they want to call something out. They agree when they want to disagree. They apologize when they're not wrong. They flatten themselves into something harmless, and then they call it love. Machiavelli said it's safer to be feared than love if you must choose. People read that and imagined tyranny. He meant something more basic. Respect is stable. Affection is not. Affection rises and falls with emotion. Respect stays, or it dies, and humans don't take softness seriously. They take strength seriously. Not because someone sits down and decides to disrespect the nice guy. Because humans test boundaries by instinct, and when you have none, you get treated like you have none. You know this. You've seen it. The man who overgives becomes background noise. The man who never says no becomes a tool. The man who keeps swallowing disrespect becomes invisible. And then he asks, why did she change? She didn't change. Your behavior taught her your limits are fake. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man whose kindness is just fear with good manners. Here's the correction. Women don't want a nice man. They want a strong man who is capable of being kind. One is a default, one is a choice, and the difference is obvious in seconds. Chapter 2. Power is the real currency, not money, not looks. Most men chase the wrong currencies. They think attraction is money, status, looks, confidence. Those things help, but they don't create the foundation. The foundation is power, and not dominance over other people, dominance over yourself. The ability to control your emotions, the ability to stay calm under pressure, the ability to hold your ground without exploding, the ability to walk away without begging. That is power. And here's why it matters. Because every relationship includes pressure, silence, uncertainty, conflict, mood shifts, tests. Call them tests or don't. It doesn't matter. The point is this. Pressure reveals stability. If you collapse under small pressure, you signal you'll collapse under real pressure. And the brain reads that as unsafe. Not unsafe like danger, unsafe like unreliable. Like a man whose mood depends on external approval. And once a woman senses your emotional center is fragile, she starts moving differently. Not consciously, instinctively. Because instability is expensive. And Machiavelli understood something most men hate to admit. The moment you need validation, you become controllable. You start negotiating your dignity. You start explaining yourself. You start chasing reassurance. And the more you chase, the less valuable you feel. That's the paradox. Stop needing validation, and you become magnetic, because now your attention is a choice, not a plea. Chapter 3. The one thing that changes everything. Now the core. The thing you wrote that matters most. Women want a man with a mission, a man with direction, a man with gravity. Not because she wants to be neglected, because purpose is stability. Purpose means your mood isn't dependent on her attention. Purpose means you're building something that survives emotions. And here's where men destroy themselves. They don't have a mission, so they make her the mission. They make her the center. And the moment you do that, you create pressure that suffocates attraction. No human wants to be someone else's entire reason for living. It signals emptiness. It signals dependence. And dependence is not romantic. It's a liability. Machiavelli warned princes about relying on allies instead of building their own strength. Same principle. The man who structures his happiness around her mood hands over his power. And once you hand over power, you don't get it back gracefully. So here's the brutal rule. You don't attract what you chase, you attract what you build. Build your life. Build your discipline. Build your mission. And love becomes a choice you make instead of a drug you need. Chapter 4. Mystery isn't a game. It's gravity. Most men ruin themselves with the same mistake. They overshare too early. They dump feelings, insecurities, trauma, future plans, as if emotional exposure equals connection. Machiavelli warned leaders never to reveal their full hand, not because honesty is evil, because exposure creates weakness. Here's the psychology. Humans value what they work to understand. If you hand someone the entire book in the first chapter, there's no reason to keep reading. So no, this is not be cold. This is reveal yourself in layers. Be warm, but not desperate. Be present, but not performing. Be honest, but not spilling. The man who doesn't over-explain becomes magnetic because attention follows the unknown. And attention is the doorway to attraction. Chapter 5. Why dangerous men get chosen. Now the question that makes men furious. Why do women sometimes choose men who are bad for them? Here's the answer. It's not that danger is attractive. It's that decisiveness is attractive. Momentum is attractive. A man who moves is attractive. Machiavelli's point about fortune wasn't be cruel. It was bold action beats perfect hesitation. The so-called bad boy often isn't loved because he's bad. He's chosen because he acts. He initiates. He decides. He doesn't ask permission to exist. Meanwhile, the cautious man is waiting for the perfect text, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for proof he won't be rejected. And while he waits, the decisive man creates the moment. So, here's your correction. Stop trying to avoid discomfort with endless calculation. Make a move. A wrong move with calm confidence often beats no move made from fear. Chapter 6. The ultimate power is walking away. This is where most men fail. The ability to walk away. Machiavelli said a prince must never be so attached to an alliance that he cannot sever it. Translation: if you cannot walk away, you are a prisoner, and prisoners tolerate disrespect. They accept being an option. They accept lies. They accept manipulation, not because they're stupid, because they're attached. And here's the part that hurts. Every time you stay where you are not valued, you teach the other person you'll accept less. And your value drops, not because she's evil, because your inability to leave signals low options, low self-respect, low standards. Now compare that to the man who can walk away calmly. No drama, no begging, no threats. Just, I care about you, but I won't accept this. And then he follows through. That is terrifying, because it means his dignity can't be purchased. And here's the paradox Machiavelli would smile at. The man willing to lose the relationship usually keeps it, because his love is a choice, not a dependency. Chapter 7. The final truth beneath everything. Now we close it. What do women want? Is too simplistic. Different women want different things, but the underlying driver is consistent. Security. Not money only. Emotional security, psychological security, relational security. The feeling that being with you stabilizes life instead of destabilizing it. That you don't crumble, that you don't beg, that you don't explode, that you have standards. Security is what allows love to last, because love without stability becomes anxiety, and anxiety kills desire. Machiavelli's deeper message was never relationships are fake. It was, stop living on illusions. Love is not a permanent guarantee. It's a living agreement that survives on ongoing value and ongoing respect. So stop chasing fantasy. Build the foundations. Self-mastery. purpose, boundaries, calm strength, because the highest power is not controlling her, it's conquering yourself. A man who is conquered himself doesn't need tricks, his presence does the work. So stop asking what women want. Ask what kind of man you are becoming. Because when you answer that honestly and do the work, the first question stops being a mystery. If this hit you in the chest, subscribe, and remember, the only person between you and the life you want is the version of you that's too comfortable to change. I'll see you in the next one.